before it cut out was the purpose of this space and what you were trying to accomplish just by connecting others that are building on the network with others that are building on the network,
Yeah,
um,
yeah, the
and just to see what
the
everybody's up to.
yeah, yeah. The biggest thing is, and like that, I'll reiterate this again, but I get asked basically by everybody all the time. I'd say at least maybe twice a day. What's everybody else doing? What's going on in the network? What are other things being built? What are other things that are popular? Where are the users going to? I get some form of these questions all the time. And obviously, I'd probably be one of the best ones to ask. But what ends up happening is that there's so much going on that it'd be better to have everybody sort of in the same space, being able to see, talk about, being able to express, and being able to elaborate on the things that they're working on, as well as having the general space being able to participate in that also. And it, at least for me, it's easier to get everybody together in one space, be able to talk about these things, and be able to ask these questions in which I can answer, or other people can come up and they can start talking about the things they're working on, rather than every single time I talk to somebody, I get the same set of questions. And maybe I do know all the answers, and I answer the same way every time. It's just allowing me and allowing the broader space to be able to come together and be able to talk about these different things, be able to see what's going on, see what's being built, see what's popular, see what's not, and just give the general users a chance to be able to engage with the space. Because yeah, I bet there's a ton of people out there that have a ton of questions on what does this do, what does that do, is this a good project, is this that, is this this, and like I don't know everything, but at the same time, there are plenty of other people in the space that are doing the things that you're asking. So it's really nice to be able to bring everybody together to be able to elaborate on those different things. And that's kind of the main thing of the space. And I hope this to be a regular, a semi-regular, a regular thing to allow for not only people who are very much interested in XDC to see what's going on, but other projects that are very much involved in XDC and the XDC network can also elaborate on the things that they're building on to a crowd of people that may be interested, as well as be able to collaborate with other participants on the space in terms of being able to work together. I see a lot of projects actually where you have Project A doing something and Project B doing something, and then they'd be like, "Oh man, Project A is like it'd be so nice to have a Project B that could either fulfill liquidity or work with or whatever," and then Project B is going, "It'd be so nice to have a Project A and be able to work with it," and it's just like, "Oh my gosh, like it'd be so nice if you guys just knew each other for just half a second, even if you guys were just in the same space, just talking about it, just having that general awareness of what's going on is incredibly valuable in my opinion, as well as being able to come through and lead it and be able to elaborate on what's going on just with SDC. On top of that, I think is just a very valuable thing for the network as a whole, as well as participants on the network.
Yeah, I mean, it's good to have, projects and people that are building, on the website or whatever on their website, or, even AMAs is good to introduce and talk about projects, but if projects can talk with each other, um, openly, there might be some stuff maybe that they don't want to talk about. And that's something I kind of want to mention too. I mean, if there's projects that connect on here and they either A, don't want to share as much or talk about as much or whatever, and they want to try to set up some sort of meeting with another project, that sort of thing can be arranged too. Because I get it, projects don't want to come up and explain everything that they're working on, or they don't want to share something new or whatever, right? So something like that can be worked on. But um, if there's opportunities to connect with other projects, maybe that's something that can be talked about.
No, I'm so glad that you said that too, because yeah, absolutely. There's probably even projects right now that are sitting in the. I always hear this too, is like, oh, I don't want someone stealing my idea, or oh, I don't want another project to get the upper hand or whatever. Totally understandable. It's just nice to be able to see what's going on in the space, and yeah, if there are different projects, different parties, different participants that want to be able to engage with us, or be able to, like us being the foundation, or be able to engage with other projects, this is also a place for that, in which, hey, look, you can come up to us and say, hey, look, we're working on X, Y, and Z, and we don't necessarily want to release anything yet. But we saw that this other project in the space is doing this, and it'd be amazing to work with them. This is entirely the premise of this space, is to be able to allow people to collaborate and be able to elaborate on the things that they're working on. So other people who are building, or at the very least are very interested in what's being built, can be very much notified of those things. I'm trying to sort of hit like three birds with one stone with this, in terms of being able to educate the space like I do on my channel, while simultaneously being able to get multiple parties together to collaborate, while simultaneously being able to have a live space for people to ask questions. If you're just a spectator in the space, just sort of what the previous question we had, like what's going on with XDC, what's going on with being able to build on a network, what are certain challenges that may be there. This is a space to allow for people to come together to do everything XDC. And the main point of this is just to allow for a public means of growing the network in any way we see fit. Like I said, whether it's just educating the space, whether it's just notifying people of what exists, whether it's showing new projects and the different challenges they may be coming up against, so other projects can essentially be more notified or at least just aware of different things in the space. It's just I think it can be a very productive I think it can be a very productive means for everybody involved, and I'm hoping that's the case actually.
Yeah. Well, we got Bell up here as a speaker. Bell, go ahead. You're up. It's good to hear from you. How you doing?
Yeah, hi everyone. I just want to say something. Hi to everyone in here. I'm Mel from XR Protocol. So as you all know, we have the DEX that's already working, and we also have the farming and the launchpad. So if anyone who needs help in using the platform or wanting to use the launchpad, or you have any questions with building your project, please feel free to message me. We'll be more than willing to help any projects we're building in XDC. So
Uh,
yeah, just that.
Bell,
Yeah,
actually,
I know
I
you're
like.
always. Go ahead, Quincy.
No, no, I was gonna say I like where you're going with that. Can you elaborate on what you guys do and what you guys offer as a service to allow for this easy access to build?
Yeah, for let me start with the launchpad. So our launchpad, we have it also in Apple Them Network. So anyone who wants to test it, you could mint XDC tokens from the XD Apple Them Network. Then also in our launchpad, you could also mint XTT tokens. So in there, you can create a simple smart contract and then create pre-sale. It would have the vesting capabilities also. So you can test running your pre-sale in the launchpad. Then after that, then the whole process of like launching your project. And it's a decentralized platform where anyone could just come in and launch a project. But um, based on experience, most of these projects doesn't even, I mean, the experience is different. Like some of them are not really devs, so they ask us for help in setting it up. So right now we're trying to help one project that's coming out soon. So wait for it, probably by mid of this month. Um, so if you have any questions, just feel free to message us. It's a fully decentralized launchpad, but we are always there to guide. We can do like live online meetings with them or to anyone. Just questions, feel free to ask.
Yeah, one thing I wanted to ask were, it sounds like you guys are not only just a platform to be able to allow dApps to launch, but it even sounds like you may be an incubator for apps to be able to help build in order to be able to launch. Is that true?
Um, we our devs can help, but our main focus right in what you call this in XDC is the launchpad, the decks, and the farming platform. But
Makes
yeah,
sense. Makes
definitely
sense.
our devs are there. Our devs are experienced in all other networks, but see, most of our guys are just like so quiet and silent. I'm the one who's always out, so you can seldom
I see
hear
you
from them.
everywhere, Bell.
Yeah,
I
I see
try
you. I see
to.
you all over the place too.
Yeah, I try to. So we've been like talking with projects, although we don't really post that much about who we're working with, who we're talking to. But yeah, we're working behind the scenes.
Absolutely. I love it. I love it. Actually, one thing I do want to say with that, because one thing I see a lot on Twitter, and it sort of goes into what Bell just finished off with, there's sort of like this weird duality with crypto. There's the marketing and PR, and then there's the development. And these are like on two opposite spectrums. So you could have, someone in development who's creating the next Facebook, the next whatever, and it will never be seen until PR or whatever. And just as a tiny reminder that there are a ton of people building in the space that you don't get to see all the time because then it sort of turns into this like, should we focus on everyone perceiving what we're going to build, or should we just focus on building the thing? And I see a lot where everyone just goes, well, if we build the thing and it's good, the people will come. But at the same time, not a lot of people hear of it. So it's really good to have these spaces too, to be able to do a tiny bit of both, because I see this weird sort of like duality online where it's either you focus on building and no one even hears about it, or you focus on talking about it, but you don't necessarily focus that much on their product. And I just love seeing different projects focus on their product, making their services very good, and then being able to acquisition those users solely based off their value proposition.
Yeah, so yeah, that's about it for us. But um, if there's any questions, even for XDC, if we can help, then yeah, we're always there.
Absolutely, absolutely. Anybody out there who feels comfortable launching a project or doing anything like that, you can go reach out to Bell, and they have the platform in terms of being able to do that. It's just really cool to see that there are different builders in the space offering a means of being able to launch those projects and interact with them. Thank you, Bell.
Okay, thank you too.
One last question, if I'm able to answer one more.
Yeah, yeah. What
Yeah,
do
go
you got
ahead.
there?
Okay, so like I've been with XDC for a while, just checking out a bunch of stuff. So like the how can I say, it's like the applications, I know they're steady building. There's a lot in the background going, but as far as the ones that's coming out to the forefront, to where the community are seeing, it's kind of slow. So like, is that something that's going to be ramped up in the future, or is just the progress of XDC, you know?
Yeah, I think that question is more of a macro question in terms of just the space, not only in XDC, but in the general space. Just the overarching amount of developers slash participants coming into the space is a bit slow, primarily because it's very new. The idea would be that as there's more adoption and more users coming to the space, there will be obviously more builders. But that's not necessarily something that the foundation explicitly uh, interacts with. Yeah, we interact with lots of projects, but we're not responsible for the individual projects coming onto the network. We're more of just sort of a means of guidance to be able to either educate those projects or to help connect those projects with other projects. So in terms of if there's going to be an exponential growth in development, well, as there's more adoption, we anticipate there'd be more development. But I don't know if we can essentially comment on explicitly what that would look like, because that's, like I said, the macro question. I can't tell you, who's going to have the next great idea or how many of them there are going to be. But the idea is that we can essentially provide the platform that can make it easier and more serviceable for those people who want to build those things to come onto the
Yeah, and
network.
that also sort of insinuates the fact that entities, that are sort of, I guess, working on the network, Foundation or Zenfin, XT Community, others, right? That it's sort of up to them on like how much news and partnerships and developments happen around the network, right? And that's not the case at all. Like, it's up to the projects that are building on XTC how much they want to put out to the community, when, or how much they want to put out, right? It's totally up to them, and not necessarily the entities that are working on the protocol or the network or the layer one itself, so I hope that answers your question. But
Yeah, pretty much. All right, I just want to say one other thing, Quincy. I appreciate everything, especially some of your YouTube videos. And what it's done is make me just like wow, this thing is going to be huge. It opened up my mind to all the possibilities that we have in the future. So I just want to thank you for that, and everybody else that's here, especially Belle. I talk to her all the time on Telegram. So uh, thanks a lot, everybody.
Yeah, I appreciate it. I appreciate it. Like I said, I'm here to help educate. I'm here to help give a perspective in such a means in which you can actually have an idea of what things may look like. The space is constantly growing all the time, so no one knows definitively who's doing what or how that's going to blow up or how successful that may be. But my whole purpose, essentially, in this space is just to help give a perspective that's more tangible and real to what's actually going on, even if it's a little boring, even if it's a little technical. It's just to inform you guys on how does this technology work? What can people do with it? And how can we grow the space with this understanding of it?